Well, Jose, thank you very much for joining us. It is a pleasure to have you in the Best Service podcast. Today podcast is going to be a powerful message from you. I want you to share with the audience a little bit of background on who is Jose.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you for having me and thank you for letting me hang out with you and your audience. We're going to provide them with a lot of value today. So thanks for hanging out with us and thank you for having me. So I was born, in the Bronx, New York. So I'm a city boy. New York City is a very fast-paced city. And I had a great childhood. I come from a pretty decent family. And but what happened was that I was born with a neuromuscular condition called spinal muscular atrophy. And what that does is basically the older I get, the weaker my muscles get. And so the doctor said that by the age of 15, I would end up in a wheelchair, and they weren't even expecting me to live past my teenage years. But I have good news because this year, back last month in February on the 25th, I just celebrated my 43rd birthday. That's right, I'm still here kicking life's butt. They thought they were going to take me out, but I got work to do, so I'm still here.
That's great. That's great. Happy late birthday for you, Jose. It's great.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. And so like I said, I had a great childhood. When I was young, I was still able to, walk and run and ride bike and roller skate and skateboard and do all the things that, healthy young boys do. And then when I got into high school, that's when I really started to feel a shifting in my body. That's when my body started to it started to get more difficult for me to go up and down the stairs, sit and stand and get dressed on my own, and just, getting in and out of the car was becoming a little difficult for me. So I was like, oh man, this thing is starting to kick in, and I knew I had it from a young boy because my mom took me to the doctor when I was like 2.5 years old, because I used to have this little limp when I walked. Like they was like, oh, look at him. He looks so cute. He walks like a little tough guy. But, my mom noticed that the little limp wasn't going away. So she took me to the doctor and they diagnosed me at a young age. But since I wasn't feeling anything, and I was I was living a good life, and, I was able to do things independently, it really wasn't a thought to me. I really didn't think about it too much. But in high school, when it started kicking in, that's when I started really to, experience, slight depression. And, I was upset with the world and God. And I was like, oh man, why is this happening to me? Why do I have to go through this? Why should I have to live my life like this? And so I had to, go through many years of that type of mindset and feeling sorry for myself and thinking that I would never be able to do anything great or do anything of significance and really just leave a legacy, when I die. And so I went through several years of that. I went through years of rebelling and, just being angry with the world and upset and hating just, God and everything. And it was a really toxic, couple of years, several years that I had to go through that. And, I made a decision when I was like in my late 20s, early 30s. And I said to myself, I'm not going to let this wheelchair continue to define me. I'm not going to let this wheelchair defeat me. And I'm not going to let this wheelchair dictate my destiny. And I made a choice and I said, you know what, I'm going to start living my life to the fullest, because I really started getting sick and tired of being sick and tired. And, I thought I would never do anything great. So what I did was I went and I got a customer service job for a timeshare company. So I was working there for several years. I have over 20-year experience of customer service and in just corporate America in general, not only customer service, but, sales and retention and being a supervisor and working my way up into a manager position. But I always felt like I was capped off there. And, a lot of it had to do with my own self-limiting beliefs and also because I didn't have a college degree. And the reason for that is because, the doctor said that they weren't expecting me to live past my teenage years. So I wasn't thinking about college. I wasn't thinking about a career. I was just thinking about surviving and trying to live and trying to stay alive. And so, I did corporate America for several years, and I felt like I kept on reaching a limit at a manager position. But I didn't feel fulfilled. Okay, I wouldn't say I loved it. I liked doing it, and it was okay, for those several years that I did it, but I felt like there was a void inside of me. I felt like there was more that I can be doing. I felt that I was more valuable than that. You know what I mean? That's just me personally. I just felt like I had more to offer than what I was doing. And so it was just a mindset shift that I had to make. I made a shifting in my thinking. And I was always worrying about the things that I couldn't do in life, and the things that I didn't have, and how my body was giving up on me, and I was giving up on my dreams and giving up on my goals and my ambitions. And I was thinking like, oh man, I'm just gonna live and die and rot in this wheelchair, and that's it. That's gonna be my story. He was a cool guy, but he didn't really do nothing, and he just had this condition, and he just died, and that's it. I didn't want to be known for that. I wanted to be known for doing something great, for inspiring lives and making a difference and making an impact. So I switched from focusing on the things that I couldn't do to focusing on the things that I could do. And I said, okay, well, you can't move your arms and you can't move your legs how you want to. Well, what can you do? And I said, well, you know what? I still have a good mind, and I still have a good attitude, and I can still use my voice. And I started to use that to start making a difference. So I looked into motivational speaking, and that was the beginning of a whole new Jose Flores, and that changed my life forever, because now today I'm doing that full time. I'm a full-time entrepreneur. I travel the world. I'm an international speaker. I'm an author. I'm a husband. I'm a father, which are my main dreams that came true. And I'm living my life to the fullest, and I don't let anything or anyone stop me anymore.
Wow, wow, wow. That's great story there, Jose. When you started all this process of saying, look, I'm sick and tired, or being sick and tired, like you said, who guided you through this process?
I did it all on my own, to be honest. I didn't have anybody when I was younger in my life, to coach me or to mentor me, or told me, hey, you should go this way or go that way, or don't go this way and don't go that way. I didn't have anybody. So I really had to learn a lot on my own. And I think that, this point in my life, I'm okay with going through the process. A lot of times people don't like going through the process. They hate the process. People who want to lose weight, for example, they want to lose weight, but they don't want to go to the gym. They want to be healthy, but they don't want to eat right. They want to make a lot of money and become successful, but they don't want to do the work. So it's like, you have to go through the process. When you want to reach a certain goal, there's no way to reach that goal without going through the process. And for me, I was forced to go through the process, right? My body is going through a process. So it wasn't like, okay, I'm going to hit the pause button and stop this from weakening my legs because I want to walk for a couple more years. There wasn't no way of me to stopping that. So I had to learn to embrace the process. I had to learn to go through the process and ultimately love the process. I love the process. Like, I don't love the fact that my body's giving up on me, but I love going through the process, because every time my body goes through a new phase and a new shifting, I learn something new about myself. I learned a new way to do something that I used to be able to do. Like, for example, I remember when I used to have the strength to, you get a soda bottle, you hold it with one hand and you twist it with the other hand, you twist the cap, right? I remember I used to do that, no problem. I didn't even have to think about it. But when my body started getting weaker and I was no longer able to do that, I had to figure out a new way to do that. So what I would do was I would pick up the water bottle or the soda bottle, hold the cap between my teeth, right? And then twist it. And then, but now I can't even do that because the soda bottle is too heavy for me to lift up. But, that's okay because my wife helps me out. My kids help me out. So, but when they weren't around and I was still able to, I figured out a new way to do it. So my whole life, I'm always constantly figuring out new ways to do things. I'm always figuring out how to solve problems, right? Because this condition is a problem for me.
So
right?
you accepted that there's not shortcuts. I mean, you actually embrace the full process.
Exactly, 100%. And so, I'm always learning how to adapt and adjust and figure new things out. And I want to be able to help as many people do the same thing. Because I believe that once you can learn how to adapt and adjust and figure out new things, then there's nothing that can stop you. You can figure out. If you want to become an entrepreneur, you can figure it out. If you want to become a parent, you can figure it out, right? There's no guideline. There's no manual on how to become a parent. There's no manual on how to become an entrepreneur, because there's so many different things that you can do and so many different, so many different ways of thinking about things. People think differently. They do things differently. They process things differently. So there's no manual for that, right? You just have to figure it out as you go along. So I want to help people to learn how to figure out what their path looks like for their life. Maybe it's not being a motivational speaker like me or being in customer service like you, Arlene, right? But maybe it's, maybe they want to start a bakery, or maybe they want to start a clothing line, or maybe they want to open up a gym to help other people reach their fitness goals, or whatever that looks like. Maybe they want to write a book. Maybe they want to, build furniture or build houses or do construction or whatever that looks like, right? I want to help them because I believe I may not know all those different industries, but I know that if I can help you change your mindset and I can help change your attitude and how you perceive things, then I can help you be successful in whatever it is that you want to do in life.
What you say there is like you don't need to know the industry. People already know it. You just
That's
they have the information, you know. You just have to break through the mindset. You know, you actually break through all this limited belief that you had to go in. You didn't have a choice. You had to. It's like either you choose to live complaining and whining of the process that was happening to you that you did not have any control. It was going to happen anyways, but there was, you actually acknowledge that there were some things that you still had control. Like you say, look, I have controls over my brain, I have control over my voice. There's a lot of things I can do. I have control of impacting people, and either I can be that one person of you know, like you made a choice. You wanted people to remember you for being someone who added value, and it's not someone like, oh, poor guy, you know, he's there, has limited mobility, and well, that's just what happened to him, you know. It's like, Jose, and what would you say is your biggest why? What makes you wake up each day?
that ask a lot. You know, my main why, I have two whys, but my main why is my wife and my children, you know, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing. I wouldn't be on this podcast with you right now. I wouldn't be able to be traveling the world and impacting lives, because they're the ones who literally have to help me get dressed every single morning in my bed and then lift me up and put me into my wheelchair just so that I can live my life, right? So that's my biggest why. And because they help me so much and we work so great as a team, I feel like I need to wake up every single morning and do everything I can to be able to provide for my wife and my children, because we love each other so much. And me being the man of the house, I have to be an example for my children. I have to be the leader of my house, and I have to lead by example. So I have to show them, like, I'm willing to wake up every morning just like you guys do. I'm willing to go to work. I'm willing to bust my butt. I'm willing to put in the work, and I'm willing to do what I need to do to make sure that my family is safe and secure and provided for. So that's my main why. But my second why is because I know that there's people out there just like I was that were struggling. You know, maybe it's not a physical disability, but maybe it's mental, right? Maybe some people are suffering with depression or anxiety or low self-esteem or low confidence or whatever that may look like. But everybody has a wheelchair, right? I always like, what's your wheelchair? Everybody has a wheelchair. The only thing is that you can see my wheelchair, but there's other people that have a wheelchair too that you can't see. So
Well, I
I'm
love
always,
that.
yeah. So, you know, that my second why is I know that there's people out there that need the value that I bring to the table, that they waiting for me every single day to put something on social media or do a video or speak at an event or put out some type of content, and they're inspired by me. They're inspired by my story. They see what I have to go through. I made a really cool video for all of you guys that are watching this or listening to this. You can go to my website at joseinspires.com, and there's a video right on the first page that pops up, and it's a video that shows the process that my wife and I have to go through on a daily basis. And, you know, my wife and I, this year, we're going to be celebrating 13 years of marriage, and she met me in a wheelchair. We've been together for 20 years, but we've been married for 13 years. And she met me in a wheelchair. We met at work. We were met at a corporate America job at the timeshare company that we used to work for. And she met me like this, you know, and the reason she's my main why is because there's not too many women out there that would step up to the plate and fall in love with somebody in my situation. There's not too many women that would carry that weight, right? Because it is an extra weight that she has to carry. And she does it lovingly. She does it without complaining. And she loves me for me. And that's why I love her so much. That's why we have such a great relationship. And, you know, and my kids too, you know, I teach my kids, I taught my kids from a young age, you know, all the principles and morals that we need to have as human beings and as men, because I have two boys. So as men, how to lead by example and how to lead with value. And so I know that there's people out there that are struggling, that are, you know, with different type of things in life. And I know that I can be that messenger of hope and that voice of reasoning that can show them, not just tell them, but show them by my life, by living my life the way I live it, and showing them that if it can happen for me, it can happen for you too.
True, that's lovely. You always ask your invites and your people in the interview if you had a message for those out there who are struggling, who are feeling that they cannot go and they cannot take it anymore, they're about to quit, what message would you give them?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would give them the same message that I gave myself. We're all going to go through struggles. We're all going to go, excuse me, we're all going to go through challenges. We're all going to face adversity. But like you said, my podcast, the name of our podcast is called I Won't Stop Until I Win. So if you're going through a situation right now, maybe you lost a loved one, or maybe you're struggling with identity or financially, or maybe you're married and your marriage is struggling, or maybe your kids are going the wrong way and you want them to come back on the right path, or maybe you want to lose weight, or whatever the case may be, you want to start a business, whatever that looks like for you. I want to let you know, don't stop until you win. Don't stop until you win, because like I said earlier, if it can happen for a city boy like me who grew up in the Bronx, New York, which is a tough area to grow up in, and still make it out of that situation, and still deal with a situation of my body giving up on me and being in a wheelchair and having to deal with the difficulties that come along with that. And I can be here speaking to you guys and telling you from my heart that I'm living my dreams, because I was able to embrace the process and do the work that was required. Then you can do the same. It can happen for you. Your dreams can become a reality. You just have to want it bad enough to become a reality. You can't just keep chasing your dreams your whole life. At some point, you have to grab a hold of them and turn them into reality. And there's no reason why you can't reach the level of success that you want to reach in life. If you have a sound mind and you have a positive attitude, then you can literally do whatever it is that you put your mind to do.
Wow, wow, wow. That's a great answer. Jose, now this is more a question for me. Why serving? Why did you choose serving as your business?
Well, because, I'm a really firm believer in servant leadership, right? I'm a believer that if you can serve people, then people will want to get to know more about you. People will want to work more with you. They'll want to help you out more, because it's almost like the law of reciprocity, right? Reciprocate. I scratch your back, you scratch my back. And that's just a part of us connecting as human beings, because there's certain skills and gifts that you have, Arlene, that I don't have. And there's certain skills that I have that you don't have. But when we partner together and we put those gifts and those talents together, we can do amazing things together. So my whole belief system is really just to be able to serve people, even, I'm a man of God, I'm a man of faith, and I believe in, Jesus Christ. And even he came to earth to serve people. And so I just think that when you can develop that servant leadership mindset, or that servant mindset that's like, hey, listen, I don't want any money from you. I don't want anything in return from you. I just want to help you out and I want to serve you. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want to misinterpret this message. You can have a service and get paid for, right? Because I get paid for what I do. You get paid for what you do. But when you do it in a way where it's not all about the money, and it's more about the person and the connection and the relationship that you're building, the money's going to come automatically. Because if people, like you and they trust you, they're going to spend money with you, right? If they believe in you, they're going to spend money with you. If they believe that you have the value that they need, they're going to spend money with you. And so the money's going to come. But and that's with any business, especially you coming in, from a corporation and companies and customer service, companies would not exist if they didn't have customers. Me being a speaker and a coach and a trainer, I wouldn't have business if I wasn't serving people and giving them value and letting them know that I care about them and I want them to win. So the fact that I'm able to do that, and everyone's able to do that, right? Because there's so many people that do certain things for the wrong motive. Most people want to get, rich and have all the money so they can buy a lot of things. I want to get rich and have a lot of money so I can help a lot of people, right? I don't care so much about having things, because things don't last. Relationships last, right? People last. We last until the day we die. And if we can build those relationships, right, then we can build an empire. We can build, our dreams and make them a reality, and we can build each other up. And so I'm glad that you asked that question, because if you're listening out there and you're struggling in your business, or you're struggling in your own personal life, and you want to figure out what you can do right now, start serving other people. If you can start serving other people right now and stop thinking about yourself and your own wants and your own selfish ambitions, and start thinking about other people and how you can help other people, I promise you that through that, you're going to learn about yourself. You're going to learn about other people. You may learn new traits and new skills that can help you in your business or your own personal life. And you'll be able to see that helping others and serving others can be a transforming experience in your life.
Wow, wow, love it, love it. So you guys, this is Jose, who has, you know, people out there will see you. If they don't get to know you, they get the sense of, like you were saying a while ago, behind the scenes, like, oh, pobrecito, look at this guy, you know, poor guy, he can't move, he's on a wheelchair. But this guy right here, he's making a huge impact in a lot of people's life. He's serving, he chose to serve. In a compensation for that decision that he took, obviously he's going to get something back. He's going to get a benefit out of it. But he chose to serve people out there, and he transformed his mess, because people will say, oh, his body started failing. It's not like you were born like that, you know. You actually got to play with all your friends, and you have those memories. And then I guess it was really tough for you when things started to hit you, and you lost some abilities, but you got through it. You went through the process. You didn't buy any shortcuts, and that is what actually turns your message, your mess, into a message for others out there to, you
That's right.
know, make a switch.
That's right. 100%. Yeah. As long as we can change our mindsets, everything else can change.
And Jose, I don't want to leave, because you told me that you had a special gift for our guests, but only for those who stayed until the end of the podcast.
That's right. So for everybody who stayed till the end, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. We both appreciate you. And I wanted to give you guys a free gift. I have a special motivational CD that's called The Power of Showing Up. And I want to go ahead and give that to you as a free gift, as an MP3 download. But what you have to do is you have to email me at joseinspires@gmail.com. And I'll have my team go ahead and send you the link so you can go to my website to download that for free. And it's going to be transformative for you. It's a powerful CD, a powerful message that I put together, some good information that's going to help you to learn how to network better, how to connect with people, and the law of attraction and the law of proximity, and how you can start to excel in whatever it is that you want to excel in life. But in order for you to do that, you have to show up. So thank you for showing up for the podcast. Go ahead and email me, and we'll have my team send that out. And if you want to follow me on social media, you can follow me at any platform at Jose Inspires. And you can check out my website, like I said, joseinspires.com. All the information is there. Enjoy yourselves. And thank you again for tuning in. God bless and take care.
Thank you, Jose. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.